meditation, I invite you to get things out of your lap and get those feet firmly planted on the floor. We let that chair support us fully to become present now in this moment where there's nothing else that we need to do, no place we need to be. We can just allow that breath of God to breathe us this morning. I invite you to see that breath going in and out of your heart space. If you're comfortable, to close your outer eyes as we go in a little bit more deeply with that breath, breathing in deeply, holding for a second and then letting go. We're going to breathe in and breathe out this morning as we bless our bodies. I breathe in God. I breathe in good. I breathe out everything that I no longer need, that is no longer good for me to hold. I let it go. Just let it go. I breathe in rest, renewal, vitality, energy. I breathe out fatigue. I breathe out all tiredness. And I let it go. I am free to choose health, to choose divine order, to praise and bless my body. I am free to be healthy. And another deep breath in. I breathe in life. We breathe in God's healing power. We breathe in new life energy into our bodies. We breathe out all old patterns of thinking, all old ways of being. We breathe out anything that is unlike the God in us. Anything in our life and our body and experiences that is not like God, we let that go. And now we take these words into the silence. Breathing in that breath of God and breathing out. Our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, says there is no room for doubts and fears because God, as love and health, reigns supreme in us. So this day we claim that we are healed now, and we stay healed, whole, perfect, and healthy. We claim this now and we hold it as our truth. See ourselves at our highest and best. See it in your mind's eye. Hold that vision of you, the truth of who you really are. Now take one more big, deep breath in. Breath of God, and now let it go. We claim this. We claim it in the name and through the nature of that indwelling presence, the Christ that lives in us, as us, and through us. And we claim this as the truth of our being. And we're so very grateful for these teachings, for this day to see things rightly. And now we bring our attention back into this room. And whenever you're ready, just open those beautiful eyes. You know, I've been here 10 years, and a lot of you already know a lot of my stories, but there are some new people, so I'm going to share how I found unity. It was a chiropractor in Austin, Texas. A chiropractor is who led me to this little bitty house on Dessau Road in Austin, Texas. She said, you know, I think if you like Course in Miracles, if you like truth teachings, you're going to like the people in this church. And so I could not wait until Sunday. I was so excited. I went on Wednesday. I looked on their website, and it said they had a Wednesday service. And I was like, I'm going to check this out. And I got there, and there was a massage table in the front of the platform, and there was the man walking around like in white linen, like kind of a monk looking guy. And I'm like, whoa, this is different. I'm thinking to myself, I sat at the back of the church, and I'm like looking around, seeing what people are doing, you know. And finally the monk guy came up to me, and he said, your first time here, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, let me tell you, this is the healing service. This is not a typical unity service. You need to come back on Sunday and hear our minister, Reverend Mary Catherine McDougall, because you're going to absolutely love her. And so I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, this is the real thing. This is just, and now, of course, I realize we have healing services here. Now, we don't have the massage table, but we have healers here on a regular basis who are doing energy work. And of course, that's what they were doing. But I didn't know that. I came from a very traditional Lutheran church, and so it was very different for me. But oh my God, when Mary Catherine was there on Sunday, I cried like many of you the very first time you're in a unity church. You know, it's like somebody's speaking my language. I could not believe it. There were people who were speaking about things that I thought about all the time. I loved it, and she was an emanation of principles. She walked the talk. She was an amazing person, and I had realized, you know, as I look back in my life, that she planted that seed in me for ministry. That very day that I sat in that sanctuary, something opened up in me in my heart like I had never felt before. It was an amazing thing. And so now all these years later, you know, here we are. Here we are. It's amazing what happens when you open your heart and you allow Spirit to guide you. So that was my first ministry. It was Unity Center of Positive Prayer. And she had been a student of Catherine Ponder's. So she was amazing. She was just amazing. So we have this theme that we're doing this month. Let's say it together. I am healthy, and each moment miracles are taking place in my body. And so what I wanted to tell you was Mary Catherine would come up to me after service, Reverend Mary, and she would say, I just love your smile. And I was like, I love what you say. It really speaks to me. And so the people, you know, unfortunately, I didn't get there until she was like practically at retirement. She was older by then, and I mean, she was just amazing. And at the end of her life, the people that were in her inner circle, her licensed teachers and all of that, she was at home. She was on hospice care. And the word that I got from those licensed teachers who became, my mentors as I was growing up in Unity, they said that as she laid in the bed, she was iridescent. There was a glow about her that was magnificent. You could feel it. It was palpable. The hair would stand up in the back of your neck. The amount of love that was in that room. And she was smiling, and that was what she always did. She was always smiling. So this is someone who walked the talk. She wrote books, and I'm going to read a little bit from her Healing Now book that she wrote. She was an amazing, amazing mentor. So Myrtle Fillmore was only 40 years old. She's our co-founder with her husband Charles, when she got the diagnosis that she only had 6 months to live. She had 3 small children, a ministry, a husband. She had all this stuff going on, right? And here she gets this diagnosis. So she got on the ball and she learned about spiritual principles, and the power of the mind over the body became the foundation of the Unity movement. Her striving to stay here longer and be with her family and grow her children, that she and Charles founded this movement in 1889. And of course, you know the story. Then her husband Charles also followed her healing practices, and he had had an injury as a child, and one leg was 3 inches longer than the other. He grew his withered leg 3 inches using these techniques. So today we explore these 5 steps to healing as a path that we can all use, steps that we can all look at. And these steps aren't about fixing anything that's broken. It's about remembering and living from the truth of knowing who you already are, that you're whole in spirit. So here we go. You ready? Step 1. Step 1 is know the truth of you. Claim it. This is about recognition. You are a human being, but you're made in the image and likeness of God. You know that. You know that to be the truth. Well, Myrtle recognized that she was a beloved child of God, and she wasn't bound by sickness or limitation. You see, she shifted her identity from a sickly child that she had been all of her life to a spiritual being of wholeness. She changed the way she saw herself, thought about herself, talked to herself, right? So we can do the same. So we can let go. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey. You can stop whatever negative thinking you've had about yourself or your body, and you can stop now. You can let that go, and you can start right where you are. She advised, accept God-given perfection. Most of us can name a lot of things that are not right with our physical bodies, but keep bringing your thought back to this ultimate truth and know that God is bigger than any dis-ease or illness that you can experience. Any injury that you've had, God is bigger than all of that. So remember principle 2. So the first one is God is, and the second one is I am. So I am God in expression. We are expressions of God, and our essence is divine. We are 100% human, and we're 100% divine all the time. And so this is about going back and spending more time remembering the truth of who we really are as divine beings. And so my invitation to you is to ask yourself regularly, who am I in truth? What am I in truth? Because when you listen for answers, you will learn about your own divinity. All right, step 2. Notice your thoughts and actions. This is about denying any false beliefs that are going on in us. Are you dwelling in fear and worry? Where is your focus? So Myrtle began to deny that sickness had any power over her. Denial in unity is not about ignoring reality, but it's refusing to give error thought any power. So we can cleanse our thoughts just like we cleanse our body, but we have to pay attention to it. We have to continually go back to step 1 and keep adjusting our mind to the truth, to the larger truth, to the divinity that we already are. Myrtle never claimed that you could heal your own body just by thinking. She also said you have to eat good food, you have to exercise, you have to take care of your body, and you have to listen to it. Because it might be expressing the need to take action to practical, radical self-care. So remember last week, I asked you, I was sharing my experience from Linda's workshop about somatics, body somatics. And she said, do you have an antagonistic relationship with your body? Remember, I asked that and some of you gasped, right? And so I knew that I had been experiencing something. So I want to tell you that I had a radical self-care experience this week. So I took that, I listened, and I know that I have been doing some things that I don't need to be doing any longer, that I needed to let go of. And so I want to share with you, because not many people know it yet. I resigned as the president of the Southeast region of Unity Ministries on Thursday. Yes, I did it. It was big. My term wasn't up until March, but I was like, oh, you know, Unity Worldwide Ministries and Unity World Headquarters are looking at merging and acquisitions, and they are becoming increasingly dependent on the regions, which our region is 8 states. So that means I was dealing with 106 ministries other than this, you know, running the region. So I had a lot of other things to do besides church. And so anyway, it got to be a lot. And I was feeling it in my body. And so I listened. My body was saying, yeah, you want to serve, but no, it's really not yours to do. And guess what? When I did that, the right and perfect person stepped right beside me at convention. And I was like, thank you, Spirit. All I had to do was ask. And this person is going to be magnificent in running this region. So I want to tell you, the universe is here to support you. But you have to listen to your bodies. You have to listen to what is going on in your mind. And you can't do that unless you slow down and pay attention and see, you gave me 6 weeks away. And I had time to reflect and realize I don't have to do it all. Others are really called to do this work, right? So anyway, that's my example. So I took action. So Dr. Lisa Rankin, who wrote Mind Over Medicine, she says that she used to ask her patients, what is it that your body needs in order for you to heal? Interesting things would pop out of their mouths like, I need to divorce my husband, or I need to quit my job, or I need to come out of the closet to my parents. They would just like, when she asked them, it would just pop out. Because you see, there's wisdom within your body already. It knows. Spirit already inside of you already knows what it is that you need to do. But you're pushing it away. It's too big or whatever. You're making excuses, right? You're playing small. So we don't have to play small anymore. We have to move into paying attention to our thoughts and our actions, because Spirit is always tapping. So the scriptural tie that I see to this particular step 2 is when Jesus said, you will know the truth and the truth will make you free. Right? Isn't that the way it is? So first of all, we have to have awareness. We have to pay attention to what we're thinking and how we're acting and what we're doing, what we're feeling, what are our emotions we're carrying around. And then once we notice, we can choose to transform. It's a choice. It's kind of a moment by moment choice. And so the practice is to release any belief that you are powerless or broken, because that is not the truth of you. Look into those memories. Look into those things. See if there's something that you're carrying that some well-meaning, ill-intentioned person said to you when you were small. That thought they were giving you good advice, right? Anything from the past that could be affecting you, take time to reflect and then let go. And then ask yourself on a regular basis, is this thought that I'm having, is it affirming? Is this a life-affirming thought for me? Or does it limit me? That's how you want to know how to get back to the right thinking. And I know a lot of you are doing this work, and so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So moving on to step 3. Step 3 is use your creative power. This one is so very important. Step 3 is affirming truth, right? Myrtle wrote, rejoice and remember you have the God power to change conditions. We shape the world that we're living in, our little personal worlds, by what we say, what we think, what we feel, what we do, the choices that we make. It's all consciousness, you see. We create from our own consciousness what we are experiencing in our lives, so we have choices. Myrtle affirmed the very beginning of their ministry, I am a child of God and therefore I do not inherit sickness. She claimed that and she hung on to that. And then she changed the way she took in that truth, and she changed the way she saw herself. So if you're sick, it's not an illusion. It's just your current experience that you're walking through. So you seek the treatment as you feel guided. You listen to Spirit, but you look past the appearance of what you see in the mirror, right? You look past the experience, and you know the truth of you, because this is the truth. Your soul is longing to express through you, and there is light waiting to shine forth from you. The same power that was in Jesus is in you. You just have to claim it and use it. So what principle do you think this is in unity? Somebody? Principle 3. God is, I am, I think. So what you're thinking about is really important. Where your focus is. What are you focusing on? So you speak affirmations not as, well, I really hope that I have a healthy, good body. That is not taking you anywhere. You speak words that are blessing over yourself and over your life. So I invite you to say after me, I'm whole.
I'm whole.
I am well.
I'm well.
I am life expressing.
I am life expressing.
There you go. See, that's more like it. Do you feel it? There's an energy in your body. It raises the energy in your body when you speak words of affirmation. So step 4, moving on. Health is your natural state. Myrtle said, you were created whole, perfect, and complete. Your body naturally returns itself to balance. She wrote, God would not create a person with imperfections or shortcomings or disease. She believed these things were the result of something wrong in consciousness. But maybe having something wrong is merely a label we give to differences. Think about it. For example, nobody knows this better than Shayna. A student of Ellen Davenport spent a week teaching science to special needs children, and she said she could see nothing wrong with any of those children. She looked into the eyes of a beautiful little girl with cerebral palsy that couldn't hardly do anything as she sat in her wheelchair, unable to speak, but who had the eyes and the smile of an angel. Kara knows this too. She's had these students. So what are our projections? What are our perceptions? What are our judgments about what we see, you see? In some cases, we've declared to be in need of healing. It might only need that we need to be accepting as individuals in their natural state. Like there's nothing to fix, y'all. Right? So the practice here is allow yourself to see the Christ in everyone, irregardless of how they show up. Regardless of the physicality. Claim health as who you really are and as those that you see as well. So step 5. Step 5 is realize oneness. Living the truth daily is the only destination possible. Myrtle didn't just pray once and then go on about her business. She lived her life healing truth every day through word, thought, and action. She lived it. Just like my Reverend Mary Catherine, she lived the teachings. She was a mentor. So we too must keep our thoughts focused on the power of infinite within us. Because then, what could you be except for one with all that is? That's the goal, you see. That's why we all keep coming back and doing this again. Healing became Myrtle's way of life, her communion with God in every single cell of her body. She saw her cells in her body. She saw her organs healthy and happy and loving life, filled with divine life. And as she experienced healing, then she began to see the divine life in everybody else. So the way that we experience oneness is what? We have to be still. We have to have time of meditation. We have to go into the silence. We have to have prayer time. Some of you experience it in nature, when you walk in nature. Some of you go to forests or you go to the beach. You go someplace where you feel the presence and power of God in you. It's wherever you go that you feel and realize your oneness. These are the things that you need to do. The scriptural tie with this particular step is in Him we live and move and have our being. As some of our own poets have said, for we are also His offspring. We are divine as well as we are human. So remember, God as love and health reigns supreme in you, as Myrtle said. It's who and what you are. So for me, as I'm trying to put this all together, I was wanting to go to a scriptural reference that I kind of felt like was capturing all of what Myrtle was talking about in her steps. And so the print is very small. So I had to bring my reading glasses today because we interpret the Bible metaphysically, and this is the New Testament metaphysically interpreted already. So I'm going to read you the scripture. It is from 3 John chapter 1, verse 2. It says, Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be healthy, even as your soul prospers. Metaphysically, this means that we are all made of spirit. We are all made of soul. And so spirit is the I am, the same in character as divine mind or God. We have spirit within us. We have our soul, which is our life experience. And then we have these physical bodies that we came into as well. So soul is consciousness, that which we have developed out of spirit. It also comes from the impressions that we have received in our physical material experiences that we've been going through. We also have soul is both conscious and subconscious. Body is the form of expression of both spirit and soul. We have spirit and soul before we express it as body, and in its invisible forces it expresses spirit, and in its seemingly materiality it pictures the limitations of the soul. This is what the body does. So when man puts out of consciousness all limitations and realizes the perfection of spirit, his body will perfect. You see, his body will become perfect. In other words, the salvation of the soul results in the spiritualization of the body. This is how powerful we are. Our ability to make an impact in our lives by what we think, what we see, what we say, what we feel, how we act, what we believe to be the truth, that is what outpictures us. And so our souls continue to want to prosper, looking to grow. It's fascinating, isn't it, when we look at the scripture metaphysically? And it's fortunate for us that the Fillmores wrote extensively about their steps, their methods, the way in which they used healing in their lives. And these steps that we cover today came from one of the letters that Myrtle Fillmore wrote to somebody that wrote to Silent Unity and was asking for healing help. And this chapter in that book, called Healing Letters, is called No Incurable Disease. Okay, that's enough preaching. It's time for a joke. So there's this man, and he's in his psychiatrist's office for the first time. And so the psychiatrist says, so what is it that brings you here today? And he said, well, you know, Doc, he said, I'm tired of feeling like I'm on the outside looking in. And the psychiatrist said, well, you know, it sounds like we maybe need to do a little self-image work, perhaps. So let's get a little bit of some basic information here. What is it that you do for a living? And he said, well, Doc, I'm a window washer. Okay. Oh, you didn't like that joke as much as last week. Somebody actually texted me after I got home and asked me to remind him about the joke again. I love that. Okay, so I told you I was going to say something about Mary Catherine's book. In her book, Healing Now, Mary Catherine McDougall says this: many of us take better care of our pets than we do of ourselves. I see some heads nodding out here. Jesus called our body the temple of God. He said that he and the Father were one. If one, then no separation. If we accept our oneness with the Father, if we believe that God is omnipresent, then we will start taking better care of our physical temples. Our body, she said. And then she tells a story of a harried mother of 4 little boys who was able to change her whole life when she used these particular statements. I am the temple of the living God. God dwells in me, and I take good care of my temple. My body is wonderful. I take wonderful care of it. I am renewed in strength and vitality. I am younger than I have ever been because I let God express his life through me. I am more loving than ever before because the love of God is who I am. And that, my friends, that's the truth of you. God bless. Now I'm going to invite the ushers up as we prepare our offering. Those of you that have given online or that have sent your monies in, we are grateful. You can just put your hands together, and we're going to bless our gifts together with these words. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, that this is so.